Okay, so good crowd this week. Programming note. So if you went on and as you logged on, you probably saw there was only one event now on for this week, and that would be today. That is because I need to do some stuff tomorrow that I have some appointments to hit that had to get scheduled for right around this time. So we're going to kind of combine a little bit of tomorrow into today. I know it is sad, but so today will be it. This will be the last class before the end of the week. That being said, we are doing an entire month of December, and we are going to launch December's programming starting next week. And this is all about joy. So it's all about the joy of what we're creating and then how we can bless other people with our art that we create. So we're going to be working on little scenes, kind of a culmination of a whole bunch of stuff we've been doing this year into little pieces that we can use. And each day we create something. It's kind of meant to create this cool piece. And then who could you send that to? So I am doing the 12 art drops of Christmas. So I'm kind of doing the same thing starting December 13th, where I'm doing 12 days of random art dropping off to people. So anyway, that will be December. I'm excited about that. So it'll be a whole mix of stuff, inking, cartooning, you name it. There's a whole bunch of stuff in it. And it will be Mike Jazorka and myself. So with that being said, we got a good crowd. I think we can go ahead and start. We're gonna combine 2 days into one. I'm gonna get into the cartoon, and then we're gonna get right into the project. So, Mr. Wizard, would you mind rolling to beep or not to beep? About how I'm gonna feel after how much turkey and all of that I am going to eat in 2 days. All right, dudes. So we're going to do today our Creature Ensemble, which is a mix of everything we've done this month. Remember, we've done mythical, we've done fantasy, we've done sci-fi, and we've used creatures of the sea, creatures of the land, and creatures of the air. So today is all about kind of mixing those up and sketching out a little bit of kind of an ensemble, which means different size characters, different features with characters. You can pull one from each of the different ones. You can pull 3 from the same one. Doesn't really matter. But trying to keep in that whole thing of creating a piece, right? So, Mr. Wizard, if we can, thank you. So we've got our sci-fi creatures, which is what we use for the under the sea. So crabs, seahorses, orcas, walruses, pufferfish, jellyfish, right, to create kind of whatever it was in our creatures. And then we've got creatures of the air. So we used puffins, flamingos, bats, pelicans, eagles, and our flying lizard to create something. And then finally, the first one that we started off with was creatures, fantasy creatures, and dogs, a Doberman, a tiger, elephant, panda, kangaroo, and a rabbit, floppy-eared rabbit. Thank you very much. So here's what I want to do today is take from these characters, right, from these different creatures and create our own. So what I want you to think about first is, does everybody have something to draw with and something to draw on? I'm going to take that as a yes. And here's the challenge to us today. Here's the challenge. Creating different sizes, different shapes, right? So that it all doesn't look the same. So not 3 characters of the same height and the same shape, but doing something a little bit different. Now, you don't have to have necessarily like it doesn't have to be like a superhero thing or anything like that, but more of the group of fantasy creatures that want to go out for donuts. Because who doesn't love donuts? I don't care where you're out in the galaxy, donuts are fantastic. So what I want you to do and start with is remember our basic shapes. And I'm going to pull one set of characteristics from each of our 3. So I'm going to start with this in the under the sea. And last time I pulled out a seahorse, I pulled out a crab, I had an orca tail, some jellyfish thing, and a walrus tusk. That's a lot. I'm going to trim it down a little bit. And I think I'm going to rock more of the walrus crab. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but if you've got your sheets from what you've drawn this month, I would highly recommend using those. And I'm going to say that my walrus crab is going to be, I'm going to have 3 different heights. I'm going to have a large figure. So in our composition, all I'm going to do is start off with what I want size-wise, right? So I've got a creature here, I've got a creature here, and I've got a creature here. So 3 different sizes, right? And this is just to block it in. This doesn't mean that my characters are going to be blocky themselves. This is just to show what my trio is going to be. So I'm going to start off with this guy. And what I love about the walrus is his, like, just the size of him, right? So if I'm going to go sci-fi, I'm going to use features of, I'm just going to use a large overall shape to his body. Now you can pick whatever you want. So pick whatever you want to start off your first character. I'm going to go crab walrus. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this, I like that crab feature of those big shells that they have. So I'm going to take that general shape of my walrus and I'm going to add the element of tusks. So I've got this dude that's kind of like almost be like a Super Mario character, I suppose, if I was really going for it. But remember, we're just bringing elements of this sci-fi creature in. So his tusks are on the side. Remember, that focus that we were doing on real life stuff, drawing real life, is what helps us draw our characters even better. All right, so I've got some tusks coming out like so. I'm going to say that dude needs to breathe a little bit, so there we go. All right, so there's the start, right? I've got this kind of helmet looking thing. It almost looks like, what are those things in Mario that have like the helmets? Tater Tot, you should know the answer to this. You're my gaming encyclopedia. Wait, or does Heather Rose know what the answer to that is? She has her hand raised. Heather Rose, do you know what that is? The Hammer Bros? Yes, I think you're right, right? Isn't that right? Like the little helmet dudes with the, yeah. All right. So everybody's trying, yes. All right, Hammer Bros. So mine's going to kind of resemble a little bit. And I think I'm going to go like eyeballs, kind of like a crab. So we're going to go crab style eyeballs. And they kind of come out from here. And given that this is a sci-fi creature, he's going to have to weapon up. So my dude's going to have to weaponize. What are our ideal monster character things like shapes, colors, and specific characteristics? Are you asking me, or is that an in general question? Or Tater Tot? In general for anyone? That's a good question. So in general, if anybody wants to chime in, what are your ideal monster character things? So what do you guys see? I'm going to have Tater Tot teach this class because you're doing better than me, buddy. What kind of things do you see in that you guys dig? So I think I'm going to go crab style. Crab style legs. And then I'm going to give a whole big deck to the top. All right, there we go. We'll tuck that leg in. A megalodon. Yes, you go for a megalodon. Your seahorse crab body looks like a bean. That's all right. It's all right. So remember too, as you can reference those photos of what you guys did before for the animals and stuff like that. Look at those small, like little things. Like I've got little folds up underneath here, like that walrus has like some folds like this, right? So if I'm looking at my walrus dude, I love the folds in his skin, right? And so I'm going to bring some of that into what I'm going to do underneath. So where can you make interesting features, you know, and take that real life elements and weave them into your drawing? And I think my walrus crab, my crawlrus, if you were, is going to have more of a body that kind of moves out. So he's got these legs, and then it's kind of like a Jabba the Hutt. A Jabba the Hutt / Hammer, whatever the heck you guys said that was. Hammer Brothers. The deep barrel chest, huge stompy feet with claws. Yes. Sleek with thicker fur accents, tall ears. There you go. So Liliana Heterolos, yes. Claws or tentacles, or wait. Yes, tentacles. All right. So I've got, even in that crab shell shape, it's not perfectly round. So I'm not going to do a perfectly round crab shell. And I have some elements in there that give it a little bit of characteristic bumps and turns and stuff like that. So here's my, there we go. Here so far is my crab walrus. All right. We'll give him a few more folds here under the skin. All right. So creature number 1, right? Roughed out. Not bad. Creature number 2. So that's this is the beginning to this. And I'm going to say creature number 2, I'm going to pull from, wait, I need to weaponize this dude. Hold on a second. We're going to give him a turret, a rocket turret on the top. And then I'm going to say that there's a built-in laser sight. So he's got a built-in laser sight. Which is going to come down kind of like Boba Fett, right? So my sci-fi crab walrus is going to have his sight that comes down. It's built into his shell. All right. And then a rocket pod. Every crab walrus should have a rocket pod. So when you're, like, you can tell, like, my lines are super loose and they're kind of all over the place where I have a lot of under drawing. So I'm just drawing light on the top to start. And I would keep, as you're going, kind of keep things a little bit lighter. And then as you figure out where you want to go, like what I did on the shell here, you can start to tie down your lines a little bit darker. All right, rocket pods. All right, there we go. And give some little rivets. All right, so there's my walrus crab rocket pod. All right, so there's one. It's going to be my landscaping team. They're just a bunch of landscapers, landscaping creatures. All right, so for creature 2, what would you do for creature 2? Like, that's my rough sketch for that. I'm going to roll our mythical creatures, and I think I'm going to pull from the, who did the puffin last time with the really long legs? That had the flamingo legs. I don't remember. Somebody did. So I'm going to go puffin, and I like the beak on that. And then I'm going to roll, I think I'm going to roll a bat and a puffin. So My secondary creature here is going to be bat-like and puffin-esque. So more of like bat wings, I suppose. So those puffins kind of have like a squared off or rectangular body, kind of have that circular shape for the head, and then that comes out. And they got that really big beak. All right. And then the eyes on the sides. It kind of looks like a parrot, but it's not a parrot. There we go. Does anybody have a favorite creature point? Like so when we got into mythical, right? This dude had lightning. My dude had lightning. That was one of his features. If your creature could have any like super style power, what would that be? I'm gonna go lightning again for mine because I think electricity is awesome. All right. So in my combo bird, I think I am gonna add the bat ears, right? So this is gonna be like Baby Yoda, sort of, but not really. Where did my bat go? There we go. So the ears kind of go up like so. All right. Speaking of which, I'm not going to give away anything that happened in chapter 12, but it was quite awesome. So if you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. I'm not going to give anything away. But I will tell you there are 2 scenes that I have to go back and rewatch and pause it on because I'm not sure if I saw what I think I saw. All right. We'll give some fur to this dude on the top too, because that's that kind of bat mixture. I'm not going to give any spoilers. Ooh, force fields or plasma. That would actually kind of be cool. Like, does it shoot plasma? Like a kaiju out its mouth? Basically, all right, there you go. That would actually be quite awesome, I think. So force fields, yes. All right, so this dude here is, we got some bat wings coming out. All right, so there's a bat wing, and then we're going to say that there's another bat wing here, but this goes behind whatever creature this is that I haven't figured out yet. And then we'll give him some feet. And maybe a suit. It's like a fancy bat puffin. Does it have to be a sea animal? No, it does not. I'm picking from this only because I'm doing one from each. So the idea on your creature ensemble is, can you come up with 3 and vary the sizes? So this dude is a little bit more triangular and shorter. This one is a little bit more rectangular, right, in shape. And then I haven't figured out what I'm going to do here yet, but we're going to go fantasy creatures. So you can pick from whatever you want. All right, there we go. So that starts that off. There's 2. Now, here's the trick. I'm going to roll my 3rd creature, and my 3rd creature is going to be from the fantasy side. So what I love about these is I love the elephant ears and the trunk, but I don't know if I'm going to mix all of them. I already did the rabbit, so I'm not going to necessarily match that, but I think I could roll a panda mixed with an elephant, and then throw in a kangaroo. You should totally count how many times I say dude, and whoever, we should be like, it's like the candy jar where how many jelly beans are in the jar. And then if you guess, and then we'll have Scott go back, and Scott can count how many times I say dude. And then if you won, you get a prize. All right. Maybe we make that a challenge next time. Or in a December class. Maybe a December class is all about how many times does Ben say dude, and then if you get it, you get a gift. First one to guess right. I do say dude a lot. It's like the and or a, right? It's just part of the vernacular so far. It could be. You could absolutely be right. If you count from March, I bet it. Yeah, challenge accepted. So throw down. So Scott, are you ready for that?
I am totally ready.
All right.
Wait, can you say man more than dude?
I say man and dude. Like, what's up, man? What's up, dude? It's just general terms. It's like bread and toast and orange. An orange can be a color and a fruit, right? Tomato, tomato, dude. Okay, so my third creature, right, we're going to roll. Man, so I kind of like the idea of that big old panda head. And doing something a little bigger. So I've kind of got some circular shapes, well, for the head anyway. And maybe the body too is, that upper body is circular. All right. Again, these are just construction lines. So made pal right. So think of like when I say dude as completely gender neutral. Because like I said, I call my mom dude. I'm like, what's up, dude? Right? So it's gender neutral. It's not as specific. All right. I'm going to go elephant trunk. Wait, what did Tater Tot say? Mate? Every time Tater Tot says mate, I go right to Australia. Hey, mate, right? I can't do the accent right now, but all right. So my fantasy creature is going to have a big old trunk. And I'm going to get just some key characteristics in there. I think I might even pull in the tusks because I find that fascinating about elephants and their tusks. And then we're going to have these big old, we're going to use panda spots. So I'm not going to worry about shading anything yet because, all right, there we go. And of course, no irises, just white eyes. Let's get some fur in there. It's almost like a panda woolly mammoth thing. And then in my fantasy creature, I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go with the ears of the, I'm going to go with the ears of the kangaroo. All right, like so. So we'll get some kangaroo ears in there. And pull down. Again, it's a little sloppy and all over the place, and it's fine because I'm going to tie that down later. And I'm realizing now that as I've drawn this guy huge behind, that makes absolutely no sense for my puffin bat to have a wing that goes behind. So I'll have to redraw that and figure that out here. That's tater tot. It's all right. Look how messy mine is. I'm sure yours is much more already put together on the one character. I'm just roughing mine in. And clearly I went too fast because I'd have no idea where that bat wing's going to go. So we're going to have to tuck that sucker in. All right. And then I'll just kind of have arms that go behind. And maybe he has his big old giant paw. Maybe he has this big old giant paw right here on the crab. All right, so there's my thing, right? Roughed in. It's just roughed in. The terrible part about this is this puffin bat. Okay. So when you're doing things like this to me is poor planning on my part, right? So I didn't plan this out terribly well, and now I've got to figure out what to do with this. What I have to do with this bat wing. Maybe I'm going to make them smaller. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to erase. It's okay to use an eraser. So I'm going to make or I could be like Nemo and only one wing is shorter than the other. And then he flies in circles. All right. So we're going to do these little tiny bat wings. Oh, how adorable. Like a little tiny toilet. There we go. If you don't know that reference, you should. Okay, so I'm going to go. There we go. So maybe this guy's doing a little dance. I'm not exactly sure. I figure you would. You're my go-to. All right. So there's my roughed in, right? That's my creature ensemble. It's super rough right now. The key in this in color too, Elite Puppy. Yeah, give me 1 minute here, and then we'll put yours up. So the key in this, right? First of all, you don't need to go as fast as I do. I've been doing this for a while, so it's all just practice, practice, practice. Secondly, clearly I didn't plan out my puff and bat thing, and I should have done a better job of that. Thirdly, in my roughed out version that I have right here, I'm going to tie my final lines down even a little bit tighter with my pencil, and that way when I go in with color, I need to show some really distinct contrast, right? So I don't want them all to look in the same tone, right? The same colors, because then it can get confusing. So what I want to do is I want to have like maybe my crab walrus is more reds and purples and stuff like that, and my bat puffin is blues and blacks and yellows and oranges, and then my elephant kangaroo thing is something wildly different. Maybe I've got aspects of green and stuff like that to go with it. So I make a higher contrast between my characters so that I can see very easily just by kind of glancing at it that there's 3 different characters and not one giant blob. All right. So with that in mind, I'm gonna pull this in a little bit more. I'm gonna go in and erase a little bit more of some of my sloppy lines. All right, I'm gonna post this question. What is your all-time favorite Thanksgiving food? Ready, set, go. All-time favorite Thanksgiving food. Maybe these guys are all going to Thanksgiving together, and that's what this is right now. They're on their way to Thanksgiving. They're going to pick up donuts. What is your all-time favorite Thanksgiving food? Doesn't matter what it is. It does not have to be traditional. All right, ham. George and Victoria are down with ham. Who else? All-time favorite. Yes, the cheese face. Pumpkin pie. Ooh, with whipped cream, because you shouldn't even see the pie. Am I right, Evie? You shouldn't even see the pie. It should be buried in so much whipped cream that you don't see the pie. That's exactly how I eat it as well. All right, who else? Who else has an all-time favorite? Mashed potatoes. Yes. Now, is it just straight up plain mashed potatoes, or do you have something in them? For Scott, buttery. There you go. Butter makes everything better. And you eat the whipped cream. Just yes. You don't actually ever finish the pie. It takes you a long time to finish the pie because you just keep piling on. All right, who else? Pecan pie. Ooh. All right. Now, is this homemade pecan pie, or do you get it from somewhere and you have a favorite place that you get pecan pie from? All right, homemade. Very good. Good answer. I've got good friends coming over and family for Thanksgiving, and one of them is making 4 pies, 2 pumpkin. So Evie and I we'll be indulging in the same thing, and then 1 pecan, so tater tot. We'll be indulging in the same thing. Fresh homemade apple pie. See, I am a very big apple pie person, and I do my own homemade apple pies because I like to bake. All right, who else? No choco chess pie? What's a choco chess pie? Is it like French silk? I don't know what that is. It kind of sounds delicious. All right, does anybody have I like roasted corn with salted sweet cream butter. Thank you very much. What?
I'm scared of that dragon.
All right. And I like grilled turkey. Have you ever grilled a turkey? Because we grill and we roast a turkey every year. Has anybody had grilled turkey? Yes. Yes. Grilled turkey. I'm telling you, it grills for like 5 hours on the grill. It is fantastic. I will be firing up the grill on Thursday morning, and in goes the turkey. Is it homemade cranberry sauce or cranberry sauce out of the can? Tater tot. It's not an evil yes laugh, but it could be construed as one, I suppose. All right, here we go. How is everybody's creature coming as we chime in on our favorite Thanksgiving foods? Homemade. Oh, there you go. All right, so I'm in full agreement. I am more a fan, I'm not a cranberry sauce out of the can person, but if it's homemade, it's a whole totally different thing. Ooh, truffled mac and cheese. Look at you, Scott. You're getting all fancy. All right. So here's my Creature Ensemble. I'm going to start diving into color because I've tied enough of my lines down. So it's time to pick and choose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set some colors for myself up front so that I know what I'm referring to. Because oftentimes, and I don't know if you do this, I will start using colors and then I will totally forget what I used. And then I have to go back and try to match it. And some of my greens and some of my reds kind of look similar, and that kind of sucks. Okay. So busting out color. And by the way, if you're not finished by the end of this is totally fine. Oh yeah, dude, mac and cheese with bacon. So I am truffle or mushrooms. I will take your word on it. I'm not a mushroom person only because of the texture of mushrooms. Freaks me out. So if you're a mushroom person, that's awesome. I commend you. It is out of my repertoire to go French instead of German. All right, so go in color. Now, when I'm doing this, I'll take like my pink, right? And let's just say on the bottom of my sheet, I'll say my character 1 and my shell is going to be made up. And now remember too, when we're using color, we're not just using darker versions of that. So if I'm using a pink, I'm not just using a gravy is good on everything, and I agree. I'm not just using a red, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to bust a purple, right? Because I want my shadows to be a little bit cooler. And then if I really want to throw a wrench into things, I will use a green also, and I use green to shade, right? So let's just say that those are my 4 main colors that are going to make up my shell. And actually, I'm going to throw in one more because I want to add a warm gray to it, like a beige, right? So these 4 colors will make up what I'm going to do with my shell, and then I'll start to pull from here too into my walrus, because I'm not going to go just traditional colors. So right now for the remainder, I'm going to concentrate on this guy right here and roughing in my walrus crab. Now the nice thing about colored pencils, and it kind of goes through with markers, you want to work light to dark. You don't really want to work, you're not going to be able to work dark to light, right? Because it doesn't go over the top. Green chili cheeseburger. Okay, all right. That sounds delicious. So all right, well, Sophie, are you in like you're in the Arizona, New Mexico area?
I live in Mexico.
That's right. So I go out to Albuquerque every once in a while, and I'll go into Santa Fe because I like visiting Santa Fe. And I will get and this was from a buddy of mine who gets his like breakfast burritos out there, and he gets them Christmas style. Do you know what that means? Green and red chilies. It's green and red chilies. So he gets a Christmas style. And I didn't know that until I was out in Santa Fe and I had a Christmas style breakfast burrito, which was amazing. Liliana and Heather Rose, your dad always makes the best turkey. And since my older brother started working at Costco, we get a free one every year. Score! Absolutely. I have a Costco 1 block away from me right now, and it is fantastic. Have you had their macaroons? Tell me you've had their macaroons. Oh, Laura lives in Albuquerque. All right, there you go. So I have visited Albuquerque and Santa Fe several times. They give them a turkey. That's pretty awesome. All right. So what I like about soft core colored pencils, which Prismacolors have a softer core to them, is they're easier to blend, right? So as I work my shape, the colors are easier to blend, and I can actually go back over them with, like, say, my pink, which is technically lighter than this red, and pull some additional color in, and I just kind of keep layering up. And for all intents and purposes here, I'm just going to get some rough shadows in to start. Vibing to Costco. Me has never, you've never been to a Costco? Oh my goodness. They have macaroons. I'm going to tell you right now, they're amazing. If you've ever had Costco macaroons, we eat the whole box within about a day, maybe 2. It's fantastic. All right, so my light source for these guys is just going to come straight from the top. So my shadows are going to come straight down.
Ben, Grant's hand is up.
Yes, Grant.
I want to share.
What's that?
I wanted to share.
You want to share? All right, we'll do Grant, and then Elite Puppy said he wanted to go also. Holy cow, look at that. That is amazing. Did you do all that right now?
Yeah.
You are a speed artist. Look at that. I am thoroughly impressed, man. Can you tell me a little bit about your creatures?
So here I did elephant legs, crab claws, and a puffer fish, body and spikes, bunny ears, elephant tusk, and orca tail. I just wanted to add a kangaroo to this one, so I just added a pouch.
See, I like the. Yeah,
So
dude.
here I have crab legs, pufferfish body, and spikes, and bat wings. Also, I did jellyfish tentacles. And I hope that's not too much sea creatures.
No, not at all. That is just the right amount, man. I love what you did. Way to go, Grant. I'm thoroughly impressed, man. All right, let's go to Elite. The Elite.
So,
Desmond Max.
this is my character that I drew.
Check that out. All right, tell me what we have going on there.
So this is like the Megalodon with like flamethrower back jetpacks. And he's just blowing out flames. And these are the octopus tentacles.
Love
and
it.
These are the 2 killer whales.
Wow, man, you got a lot packed in there. That is impressive, man. Way to go.
And these are radioactive ones, not just regular.
See, I like that. There's that kind of sci-fi mythical creature element to it. Way to go. Nice job, buddy.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Des and Max.
Okay. Hi, I'm Max.
What's up?
I made this one. Like a lobster shark. I have some shark fins on his lobster claws, and then his ability, he like is on fire.
I
And then
dig it, man.
little otter crab who can run really fast.
Oh,
And then
You know
I
what?
drew this alligator octopus that I'm not a huge fan of.
yeah, but you know what? That's the start of something. I see that one as the start of something.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That sounds like a good idea, like alligator octopus. But then
It
like,
does sound like a good idea.
I'm like that doesn't make much sense. But I'll keep working on it.
I love the mashups. I love the mashups. All right. Way to go, dude. Yeah, keep working on that because I think your alligator octopus is going somewhere. It's just fleshing it out a little bit more.
Here's tater tot.
Tater tot.
So I went with a jellyfish kind of thing,
Oh my gosh.
kaiju kangaroo type thing going on. So yeah,
Look at that. And that's all today?
yep.
Good night, man. I
Thank
dig
you.
it. Way to go.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So I'm busting away on some color here.
Here's
And-
Liliana and Heather Rose.
Yes, ladies, let's see what you have.
Here's some things it's kind of in the sketching phase right now, but
I love that. Holy cow. You got like a griffin thing going on. I love that fire snake kind of. Well, I don't know if it's a fire snake, but like it's got like all those creatures have a very mythical fantasy feel to them. And then tell me about the one in the bottom left.
this one,
Yes.
kind of like a fox, I guess, or a cat or something.
Absolutely. Very cool, man. I dig it. If you're counting, I've now said
No,
dude 38 times.
this is also a sketch, but there.
Oh, that is sweet. Check that out. Okay. I think, I'm just saying, I think the bird creature on the right-hand side is probably one of my favorites. I love the expression. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nice job, ladies. All right. So in color, right, as we're kind of blending up, all I'm doing is layering, meaning I'm starting a little softer and then I'm pressing a little harder as I'm moving up, and that's it. So I would encourage, as you get your color down, right, not to, depending on what medium you're using, if you're using colored pencils, don't press too hard off the start. Let that color build so you can see it's nice and easy. just layer that up. And then this gives me the opportunity to have my dogs bark. All right, and then I'll go back over with my pink, and with my pink, I can then blend those colors together, right? Like so. And then I'm gonna go in with a little green, and I wanna make some of my shadows a little bit deeper, so I'm gonna go in with that green, and then you can kind of see, like, as I use my green, it almost, it starts to darken it up, but it creates a much richer shadow than just doing like black, because that's boring. Just say dude for 5 minutes straight and throw everyone's guesses. I should. Dude. I could do a whole song. I can make it up right now. And it's called Dude. All right. I'm going to pull in my warm gray at the top. The Dude song. Yes. All right. So there's a little bit of additional color at the top with a warm gray. And then that kind of sets up my shell, right? So there's one of my creatures. And then I'm going to go with, I've always been fascinated with lighter colors on around a shell. So I'm going to use this as the primary color for the rim to the Super Mario. Yes. Do 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 do. Thank you very much. 5 points for me. All right. I'm gonna go with like an electric blue. So there's a movie, and it is something that Scott and I would know. Highly doubtful anybody else. Called The Big Lebowski, and he uses dude all the time. Thank you, Evie. I appreciate that. I am virtually taking a bow. All right, there we go. So I've got a little bit of shadow underneath. There's the dude count update. Yes. Now I've got metal parts to this. It would seem, because I've got so much color in the shell, and then I'm going to have a little bit more like purples and beiges and probably some deep grays in here. But I'm going to start this with just a gray. And the great thing about all of this is you guys can experiment with whatever color combination works. And that's what I like about doing creatures, is because you take those real life colors. I'm going to put that away later. You can take those real life colors in animals and creatures and apply that to your drawings. And then I'm going to need there we go, underneath. All right, so it's getting there, right? It's coming together. I've got a rocket pod on the top. I don't exactly know what I'm gonna do with my rocket pod. So when I'm getting into like these pieces of my, oh, I erased part of that. If I guessed a super high number, constantly make dude count, please. So he will say it more. I could. All right. So I've got my claws right here, and I'm gonna do my claws in the same color as the shell. That way I've got everything out already, and I'm not gonna forget what I just used. Dude, the movie is a thing. Yes, yes it is. All right, so now that is everybody off for Thanksgiving from school? Because I know my kids do not have school this week. Is everybody off from school this week? And if you are off from school, what is the biggest thing you are doing over Thanksgiving break? And the biggest thing could be whatever it is that your favorite thing is to do on when you have a break from school. I'll tell you what mine is. I just got Star Wars Legion, the game, which means I have to glue a whole bunch of miniatures together, and then I have to paint them. And I actually find that kind of exciting, because then I can play the game.
Maybe playing Nintendo might be good for have no school.
Oh yes, I enjoy Nintendo. Go ahead.
My 4-year-old brother has a Nintendo because I heard your kid your kid your kids have Nintendo and they're 4 years old.
Yep, my 4-year-old plays Nintendo and is actually quite good.
My brother is 4 years old and he has a Nintendo.
He does.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. Do you get to play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. My favorite.
Yeah, I like Super Mario Brothers. All right. So who plays Breath of the Wild? Now, is that a video game, or is that like a board game or a card game? Help me out. Which one?
Hi, yes, it's Tater Tot back again with more video game antics. It's one of the Legend of Zelda games.
Oh, for Nintendo Switch?
Yes. No. Yes, both. I don't know.
Do that. So I am about to get a Legend of Zelda game for the Nintendo Switch. And is that the same one? I'm wondering. It's Legend of Zelda. Okay. So if I buy Legend of Zelda, I'll know exactly what you're talking about as soon as I get started with that game. All right. So there's some color combos with things. I'm picking pieces out that kind of match, and then I'll go back in and I'll actually, because this will be more part of him, start to pull like this color here into the claws that come down, and then work my color palette in. But that's the start. It's the start to my creature. But enough about me. Let's see what you have going on. Who has not shown yet that would like to show? Because I would totally like to see what you have going on. Let's go around the table. So, anybody? Well, I'm gonna just start calling on people. Evie, we haven't seen yours, Evie. I hate it when you call on me because I have to show my stuff. I know, ha ha ha. But you have awesome stuff, which is why we like to see it.
Evie disappeared.
She disappeared. What is it with this? Her, Sophie, the whole thing. All right, Evie disappeared. That's a shame because I would have loved to see what Evie had going on. All right.
She just turned off her video.
I know. She disappeared on us. She turned off the video. Okay. You're working on something else. That's fine. All right. So, my dudes, it has been an incredible month of creatures and color. I've loved to see all this expression of creativity and how you guys were coming up with stuff, what you did for the mashups, and then what came out of that. And especially when you got into sci-fi, mythical, fantasy, what you were all putting down on paper here, I thought was pretty awesome. I want to encourage that imagination as you roll into the weekend. And given that it's Thanksgiving, it would only be appropriate if I said what I was thankful for. So I am thankful for all of you. And there's a lot of you that have been on since March, the end of March, which is awesome. And then others that have joined us more recently. But I have thoroughly enjoyed every time that we get together and do stuff creative. I love your imaginations and what you guys put down. And I am thankful for each one of you. And I could name you all off: George and Victoria, Sophie, Liliana and Heather Rose, Tater Tot, Grant, Maddie, Des and Max, Alex, Elite Puppy, Evie, Laura, Kat, right? Scott, always thankful for Scott. I'm not going to leave you out, buddy. So I am thankful for you guys. And thank you so much for joining these. And you bring joy to me when we're all creating, because it inspires me to do even more. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you all next week.
And actually, sorry to interrupt. I think Sophie wants to share real quick.
Yes, please, Sophie.
Okay. I drew this.
Yes. All right, I got the bat down. Are we talking like wolf? Help me out.
Yeah, it's a wolf.
Oh, a bat wolf. A bat wolf would be like kind of one of those ultimate not even like scary creatures, but I think like ultimate mythical creatures is what I think of in a bat wolf. I think that's awesome. Then we just need like a full moon that it's howling at, and then we're golden. There we go, Sophie.
Can we, next month, can we draw dinosaurs to mix up?
Yeah, you know, we'll throw it. You watch what we do. You will absolutely have the chance to draw a dinosaur. So Evie, the sentiment is right back at you, dear. Tater Tot, the same. I enjoy seeing you guys every week. So you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If it's warm by you, awesome. It's snowing and 38 here. So welcome back to Chicago. And have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Thank you.
Dude.
Bye.
Dude.
Bye, dude.
Bye, dude.